Got it. All right, we're good. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy to be here. My name is Richie David Marrufo, aka Deadwall Reveries, and welcome to our online open mic here on YouTube. We host this on Zoom. I am your MC and host for tonight. This is something we've been doing every single Monday since April of 2020. This is something I call the stay-at-home open mic. It's also virtual open mic, online open mic. Most of the people that you'll see performing have already been here before, so they know what's up. But if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Just like any other open mic, if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. Simple as that. Each performer gets about 5 to 7 minutes to do their thing, whether it be poetry, prose, freestyling, music. You can tell jokes, but no comedy. Just kidding. But we are here. And also let us know you're here by participating in the live chat. If you do want to sign up to perform, we do have a little bit of room left on the list. All you have to do is look in the description, wait a couple of performers in, and I'll have the link set up so you can click, you can sign up, and you can join us. And we're here pretty much for the remainder of the list. But as always, we encourage you guys to check out all of our shows that we have online. They are available on YouTube. In fact, we have a playlist called Online Open Mics. You can go back and watch any backlog of any of the number of shows from, all the way back to April 2020. And thankfully to the work of Kit Wren, who also hosts from time to time. And spoiler alert, we'll probably be hosting next week. Want to confirm that. But yeah, we thanks to his work, he's gone and tagged all the performers. You can go and find certain people if you want to, or even just make a CV of what you want. So, yes, what other things that I want to say? If you haven't already, we do have a link tree, barbed wire, link tree, El Paso BWOMS. I realized the other day that there is a subscription option on that link tree website. And so now whenever I post a link to join these, that's kind of the first place I post it. But there's also an option to notify subscribers. So if you guys are interested in getting like the first bit, once I post that list to sign up, I would recommend checking out our link tree. I'll post it on YouTube. So if you guys are on YouTube, I want to give a shout out to Virtuoso X. Good to see you again, my friend. Yeah, good to have you here. Yeah, I'll give you guys shout outs throughout the night if you guys are posting, commenting. But anyway, this is the part of the show where ideally I will talk the most, but otherwise we have a great list of performers joining us from not only El Paso and the surrounding region, but from all over the country and sometimes all over the world, thanks to the magic of technology. So our magic Zoom room. We're gonna go ahead and kick things off as we've done many, many, many times before. We're going to stay in El Paso for our first performer, who we, hold on, sorry, got lost here. Okay. Who we love to call the poet laureate of tumble words. And you also hear a lot about tumble words tonight. It's always a treat, and that she's a regular here and always comes with such a strong set. I mean, I always encourage my students to listen in on these shows and listen in to like the craft. And, Robin is someone who they always pay attention to for that when they listen for imagery and the kind of stuff we're talking about in like our creative writing classes. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off in El Paso. We're going to go a little bit west from where I'm at right now and to tune in with Robin Schofield. Hey, Robin, happy Monday.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh, there I am. Okay, great. I'm going to read a kind of longish poem, but I'm only going to read the one poem and then a cover poem. And it's the title poem from my new book called Ridge of High Pressure. And I wanted to read this poem especially in memory of my dear dog. Ridge of High Pressure. 1. May. Coyote nicker snarls at my black dog and me, dodging up the hill, her coat same hue as summer's yellow grasses and the tan rocks snaked with ochre under a stalled ridge of high pressure, pushing moisture away, triple digits and drought in the El Paso desert, as though our 8 inches per year is too much to ask from the rain gods. The churlish coyote doesn't flinch away, as she will do, but steps toward us, curling her lip. Burrowing owls dance by the dam, and sunjowls creep over the mountain as we halt in the heat, having started too late for it to be cool, while pups yammer across the arroyo in the blue lake of their cave. And it dawns on me why she's so brazen. She's not mad from the heat. We're blocking mother from din. My dog, Winston, and I have to turn our backs on her and hurry up the path and down. No way to go but past her to get away, as in all the legends. I am afraid the price for this hike could be high. I listen for padded paws behind us, but blood clamps up my ears like the hard rain that doesn't come because the ridge of high pressure won't budge today or tomorrow. Then I hear nickers as the pups settle down. I know she's with them. She's there like lightning. 2, June. Under another ridge of high pressure, we walk at dawn in our urban park, where there is a wildness to which I cannot speak, for I don't know how to mourn the 2 coyote pups I find dead on the dam in early June, pelts slit, too young to know to beware the easy prey, how often a fatal trap, the free dog food or cat flesh. They didn't know how high a blood price had to be paid. Yet another ridge of high pressure, the color of rust, an upside down kettle as the dog and I climb and descend on the 3 Hills Loop Trail. Hot, windy days forecast, haboob and drought endure, unlike a road that fades into mirage. Coyote carries on nightly, drinking from the park's sprinklers and prowling the desert jackrabbits that nibble the ball fields, fattening up and slowing down. Easy food, but at a price. Coyote, without her pups now, scats on the trail, the gray hair and bones of the hare, whose flesh she has torn and eaten. 3, July. It's supposed to be raining, but again, a ridge of high pressure sifts over us, stifling and tall, the seasonal monsoon cratering off the yellow and orange mass on the weather maps, the west consumed in cartoonish orange flames. Before dawn, we were up to walk on the ridge of hills, my dog nose keen to sense the doe and her twin fawns in the arroyo, looking for water in the hollow spots, the huecos in the snake-ridden rocks. Coyote doesn't know in her softball paradise that the western forests groan under the lightness of fire, and that it makes the beauty of the sunsets unbearable. And yet she is uneasy. She knows the price is high. Okay, so now for my cover poem, I'm going to read Robinson Jeffers' poem, Shine, Perishing Republic. Always a timely poem. While this America settles in the mold of its vulgarity, heavily thickening to empire and protest only a bubble in the molten mass, pops and sighs out and the mass hardens. I, sadly smiling, remember that the flower fades to make fruit, the fruit rots to make earth out of the mother and through the spring exultances, ripeness and decadence and home to the mother. You making haste, haste on decay, not blameworthy, life is good, be it stubbornly long or suddenly a mortal splendor. Meteors are not meteors are not needed less than mountains. Shine, perishing republic. But for my children, I would have them keep their distance from the thickening center. Corruption never has been compulsory. When the cities lie at the monster's feet, there are left the mountains. And boys, be in nothing so moderate as in love of man, a clever servant, insufferable master. There is a trap that catches noblest spirits that caught, they say, God when he walked on earth. And I'll be at Tumblewords on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 to 3, as usual. Let's see, what else? I'm on Facebook under my name, and you can always contact me there and get I have a couple of books as well as this new one that's coming out any day now. Not sure when. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you, Robin. That's awesome. And Robin's coming out and to read as well at a lot of our open mics, so that's always appreciated. Really looking forward to the release of that, as well as any of the readings that you have planned, which I understand are several. That's amazing. We're going to go ahead and continue onward, and we're going to stick around in the same time zone, but we're going to move a little bit north from here and move up to Denver, Colorado, where our next performer is sitting there, as he often does, our own Lighthouse with his awesome artwork behind him that I want to hear more about in the poems or in work, actually. So you should bring out some pieces that celebrate those. That'd be kind of cool. Just saying. But let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, Mike Sindler, everyone. What up, Mike?
Yeah, I do have some poems about painting that I guess I will break out one of these days for you. Well, those were so beautiful, Robin, and such a wonderful tribute. And also just Robertson Jeffers just reminds me, because I remember picking up a book of his poems just basically by random, and just reading it like, wow, this guy's great, and just, it's just the things that, you run into, you have no idea. And that's poetry for you. That being said, I will read this one. That's a poem about what happens when you leave your window open. It's called Airborne B&B. Unintended hotelier, leaving window open, spring arrives on wings. Tiny vibrating visitors, airborne B&B guests, flickering cells on shells, flittering over indoor accommodations, taking special interest in the fruit bowl arena, prime locale for fructose frolics, all-night fiesta. Only competition, the hypnotic glow of lamp bulbs, low watt LED land, cool shaded outlets, still a hot spot. No reservations, no long-term plans, checking in, never leaving, taking hosts for granted. Next egg-laid in-house hatch generation will expect more of the same. Inadvertent innkeeper housing uninvited, insolvent, aimless hordes, broke borders better banished. Obvious answer to prevent entry, but glass portal shut would make room hot. I'd sweat profusely and miss the breeze, but they'd be left outside. At least they're the kind of tourists that don't bite. And another sort of just hanging out here poem. It's called Sun Can Never. I like oolong, brewed strong, buttered toast and tangerine. I like plantain pancakes, stacks, gooey berries, cardamom coffee. I like pretending that it's morning with shades drawn. The sun can never out the hour, never give the game away. And I will end with this one, which is not me. Could be one of my neighbors, though. And it's a story for all the Karens out there, called Suburban Crime Story. Where are packages? Still awaiting arrival. Hope springs eternal, keeping watch through window pane. How long before driver comes? Not trusting neighbors. I don't know much about them. Can't be too careful. Things have been going missing. Crime creeping into suburbs. The cops are worthless. Say there are more important issues than my mail. Take it up with Amazon. I'll talk to his manager. And yes, that was a Ringa, by the way, just if people are wanting to keep track of forms. So with that said, I just thought it would be appropriate. I try to keep on top of things a little bit. And so I thought I should do a couple Asian American writers' poems. And this first one is by Patrick Rosal. It's called Broke Heart, Just Like That. When the bass drops on Bill Withers' Better Off Dead, it's like 7 a.m. and I confess I'm looking over my shoulder once or twice just to make sure no one in Brooklyn is peeking into my third floor window to see me in pajamas I haven't washed for 3 weeks before I slide from sink to stove in one long groove, left foot first, then back to the window side with my chin up and both fists clenched like two small sacks of stolen nickels. And I could almost hear the silver hit the floor by the dozens when I let loose and sway a little back. And just like that, I'm a lizard grown 2 new good legs on a breeze, bent limb. I'm a grown-ass man with a 3-day wish and 2 days left to live. And just like that, everyone knows my heart's broke and no one is home. Just like that, I'm water. Just like that, I'm the boat. Just like that, I'm both things in the whole world rocking. Sometimes sadness is just what comes between the dancing. And bam, my mother's dead. And bam, my brother's children are laughing. Just like that. Okay, it's true. I can't pop up from my knees so quick these days. And no one ever said I could sing, but tell me my body ain't good enough for this. I'll count the aches another time. One in each ankle, the sharp spike in my back, this mud muscle throbbing in my going bones. I'll miss the 6 biggest screws to hold this blessed mess together. I'm wind rattled, the wood splitting, the hinges are falling off. When the first bridge ends, just like that, I'm a flung open door. And the second one is by Ed Bach Lee, and it's called Water in Love. How to love like water loves, when it's impossible to even taste all the ghostly sediments each time you take a sip. Impossible to savor the salt in your blood, the light and island shorelines in each living cell, when even the plainest mouthful tastes more of you than you of it. Sweetest of absences that freeze in wave after wave, debris of thought like the dead, the drowned, the vanished, and yet sails your lips on a voyage towards another's, plying all luck and regret. Worship, splash, guzzle, or forget, it clears any difference. Stone washer and mountain dissolver that will outlive us, even the memory of all in any eyes touched. Wasp and cactus in a desert, comet through outer space, sleep among the cloud shepherd's children. A love so perpetually current, it doesn't care that you love without even knowing you love, that you couldn't survive 3 days without. How to love like that? Wild dream sparkler and meticulous architect of every snowflake, wise, ebullient, and generous as the rain. Deepest miracles for a time, borrowing and replenishing a self overflowing with fate. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mike. As always, love the hat, love the poems and selections. Lighthouse Writers, do you have anything else coming on as well?
Oh, yeah. I do want to definitely say good words and ask everybody to just check out that website for lighthousewriters.org. And yeah, actually, I do have on the 19th, I'll be the featured artist at Beehive out of beautiful Swindon, England. And I just put in the chat there. You can put in email to them to get an open mic slot. And also you can just email him and let him know you want to show up, even if you don't want to. And he'll send you the link, because there's no link yet for it, even though it's only 4 days away. But that's how we roll.
True.
Okay, so thank y'all very much.
I love that, man. Thank you so much. Whoops, I pushed the wrong button there. There you go. Mike's in there. I love that. It's okay. No pressure. It's only a couple of days away. I know. I post these links to join these kind of late too. So I was filling that one. I have to find a happy medium. Back in the day, I would post like a whole week before, and nobody would sign up until like the day before. So I'm like, okay, maybe I don't have to put it up that early.
I'm thinking Friday morning is a good time.
Friday's a good time, actually. That's true. I'll have to start planning that. Anyway, check out Mike. That feature sounds awesome. Let me take a look at that and copy over whatever I need to. Once again, shout out to Alonso, who was checking us out on YouTube and is with us here now. He runs Virtuoso X in El Paso, Texas, and Snappy Fingers, which is a poetry slam thing happening too. So I think that's something that we're also trying to build up more locally in El Paso. So if anyone's watching and maybe you're like shy to do the online events, definitely check out. We have a lot of events building up now locally. So just keep your ear out. I'll post as many as I can. I know that this week we have a whole week of events in El Paso. If you guys need some stage time, want to get some stage time, or just meet more performers, then there's plenty of opportunities. Tuesday, we're going to be downtown at Mono Bar. Wednesday, I want to give a shout out to the Writers Theater, hosted by Aaliyah Kandia. She's awesome. She's been here before, actually, in the early days, but she hosts a really nice reading room there. It's definitely worth checking out. Great place to read and listen. Thursday, we have our poetry night at Capri, and Friday, we're going to rock out at Craft Rhythm and Brew. So it's a whole week of stuff going on. Anyway, more commercials throughout the show. We're going to go ahead and keep going. We're going to travel to South Euclid, Ohio, where we have their poet laureate hanging out in space. So when I say, "What's up, Doc?" I'm really saying, "What's up, Europe?" You know, he's always up to no good, or the best, I guess.
That's me.
Let's go ahead and welcome. What an intro. I don't know what I'm saying. Doc Janning, everyone. What's up, Doc? Go and take it away.
So much is up. It's almost ridiculous. But today I completed the poem I'm going to be reading for our Memorial Day celebration here. But it's not one of the poems I will read tonight. I will read it online only after I've presented it in public. This first poem is a surrealist piece titled Grace of a Fading Day. In the grace of a fading day, the space between land and sea, the space between light and dark, the time between past and future, within infinite moments, in regions of wisdom and dreams, on a quest of imaginings and symbols, in unplumbed depths of astral history. The infinite, inexplicable penultimate, in the luminous sound of ecstasy, in the sensation of a wing gliding across strings of an instrument, in the sonority of affirmation. And time, shrouded in shadow, reveals the semblance of existence. Unknown words sung in arcane voices and daydreams of spiders. Everything, everywhere, everywhen, and infinity. And I'm reaching far back into my poetic past, about 10 years ago or so. This is titled Winds of Time. Winds of time, like a zephyr, touched his soul, stormed across his mind. Dawn came as a thunderbolt, striking from within clouds, searing like flame the emptiness. The past awakened. He closed his eyes, opened to its rushing flow. Time flew past, taking him. He looked, saw into his past, moving through to the beginning, holding in one hand a fragment, and karma flooded into his being. And I will finish with this poem, Mountains of My Mind, which was inspired by the Gerard Manley Hopkins poem, Mind Has Mountains. The mountains of my mind are the trials of my soul. Some with streams of fire are lined, others capped with ice and cold. All their trails which I did wind, all the lives which were my role, the long, long eons I've been blind, till karma came to set my goal, and lifetimes let me find. Thank you.
All righty, man. Thank you so much for being here. You've grown butterfly, cosmic butterfly wings behind you, and we wish you the best on your journey, cosmic journey. Do you have anything coming up you want to promote, Doc?
I have nothing coming up online right now. I'm just too busy with more in-person events than I can really handle. Including I've been asked tentatively by Cuyahoga County, in which South Euclid and Cleveland are located, to look at a list of dates they have for events that they're sponsoring, possibly to read at them. And then in August, I'm going down to Columbus, Ohio, to the Ohio State Fair, where I will be reading in what's called the Poetry Showcase for their fine arts section of the fair.
All right, man. Perfect. Appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that. And it's always great to hear the work that you're doing as well for your communities.
I try.
That's the best we can do, right?
And my wife says I'm very trying.
Well, you know.
Wives pretty much always say that.
Yeah, you can say, never mind. I was going to make a bad joke. I'm trying to be better this year at not making those. Let it go. Let it trans. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to our online open mic. We're going to go ahead and do the whole mumble transition thing. Next up, earlier, I was talking about all the events that we have going on. I barely touched the surface, but I would be remiss if I didn't. Our next performer also throws on amazing shows poetry readings, poetry and music showcases, and including with the work she does with Nami. Just got to say, she's doing really great work in Las Cruces. And it's always great when I get to collab with her. Let's go ahead and welcome from Las Cruces. You can find her on Instagram at Liz Likes Words. But right now, let's go ahead and welcome the Lizard King back in our online space. I wish I had a theme song for you, as you enter the mic. But yeah, she's got some music poetry to share today. Hey, Liz. And your kitty. Perfect cameo.
Like he's right on I'm trying to play piano and he knows it. He can sense it and he's right on top of it. So this is going to be interesting. I'm sorry. I have to kick you off, baby. I love you, but
He just wants to recite some poetry.
Yes, you're
Well,
right.
you're king, so
I am a king. God damn it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. So hi, I'm the Lizard King. I'm from Las Cruces. Yes. So okay. I'm gonna read one. Actually, I was gonna read one that I read this morning. I was on the radio this morning in Las Cruces. KTAL is our community radio station. I read this one. I talked a lot about mental health and like suicidality and stuff. It's Mental Health Month right now. So just talking about like why it's important to talk about mental health, like my own experiences, like feeling suicidal and stuff. And so this poem is kind of like an ode to that, to like speaking about it and stuff somehow. In my head, I was fucked up, out of luck, stuck on the wrong side of the fence, always playing defense, sucked up all my good luck, sucks to be an imposter living such a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life. Peter Bailey with his kids and wife. Oh, me, oh my, please don't remind me of all the times I wanted to die, wanted to find a way out. Through the dungeon of the needles, I couldn't find the light. All the good love felt like a lie. I know I repeat the same shit, remind myself of when I took a big hit. Someone picked me back up, but for the grace of God go I. It was do or die, please don't drag my body back to bed and tell me you love me. You'll make me cry again. Pick off the couch inside my head. Oh yeah, I got a lot of shit exists inside my head. My head is where the trouble starts. Please take me back to Mario Kart, the head start. Got my life back at 22. It's been 5 years and 3 months. All this time I'm finally feeling love. 22, not quite a head start. I was ripped apart, didn't have a blues clue. Tell me again, who's the higher power and who's living for just an hour? Give me back the love, let me sit silent, brain with all the flowers, throw it back to Walt Whitman. He said every ember would emerge again, get that. He said all the love, the light, it'll return back to your head. So instead of going back to bed, write down a list of every good morning, the happy shit, the sweeter trysts. Reuniting with everyone you missed. When I came back to life, I came back to everything I missed. So I insist, it might feel stupid, but that's because I'm on the other end. I'm feeling lucid. I know it's hard to believe, but since I'm the one glitter, I once felt just like you did. Bought a storage unit just to stick my heart up on a shelf, was sick of my own self, but you couldn't tell, actually. Everyone could. But the whole world was asking me if I was all right, always looking like I was about to cry, no lie. Woke up every day hoping for accidents. I wish I would die. And it's all right to feel a little low sometimes, but please call for help if you want to die sometimes. Can't always leave it all up to rhymes, I promise. If you wait, everything is going to be great. If you need a fast reminder, you can always call 988. And maybe it was fate, someone answered back. I called for help, powered down on the racetrack. Last lap, I'm out, coach. Got another panic attack back to back. Not sure if you could back it up, just back up. Okay, now back up. I got back up or out of bed for the first time in 4 years. I was full of fear, oh dear, legs shaking and heartbeat quaking. I was making monsters out of shadows, been living in the shallows, searching for the hallows every day Halloween. I dress up as myself and make me scream somehow. Found the holy door, walked in a sacred room, heard everyone tell my story. They all had the same gories, different ins and outs, but never boring, bad coffee and holy mornings. Driving to work, I can't imagine what I did to deserve this beautiful life. Whatever, it really is a wonderful life somehow. Today I'm happy and breathing fine, but for the grace of God go I. Some divine power saved my life one day. I'll tell you guys about the whole month I was seeing doves, no lie. But for the grace of God go I. Yeah, never alone. So many people hold me up. I was never really out of luck or fucked up. You're not fucked up, you're just Tired of living the same day on repeat, of reheating all the same thoughts and eating all your fear. Do you hear me? I never could have done it alone. I learned that my people are my home, and I think God lives in every telephone. How am I doing, Richie? Do I have time for a song?
Yes, you do.
All right. This one is this one's mine. It's one of my favorites of mine. Can you hear that?
Are you on your phone or a computer? You're on a phone, huh? Is there an option for you to turn on original sound? If you go like to the sound options? I think
There?
that'll yeah, so when you turn that on, I think so. Go to play. I think yes, that's perfect. Now we can hear like
Yeah?
the full range. Yeah.
So much better. I'm so glad you did that.
Okay. Cool. Okay, this one's mine. It's called My Heart Is So Full. Started making sense. Just
Liz. Sorry, Liz. I think your audio is getting cut off.
it's like
Yeah, it sounds like even worse as far as the muffling. Maybe it's not the right setting after all.
Liz, you need to turn off your video.
What?
You're not hearing your sound at all.
No, that.
Yeah, I don't think
you
it's.
can't. You really can't. You
Can you
can't.
hear me?
Yeah, go play the piano. It just because Zoom always cuts off like louder frequencies or lower frequencies, so it was cutting off a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't hear her voice.
Can we try it now?
Anything.
Can you hear me?
We can hear your
Your
voice.
voice.
Okay, guys, I got this.
All right.
Can you hear the piano?
No, it's coming out kind of low. Can you that
You can
setting?
only hear the piano or your voice, but not both at the same time.
Can you hear it?
Very lowly. It's not coming out a whole lot.
Like not syncing, or like when you were singing, it wasn't like matching up to the
So if we go
matching.
to that setting again, was it on or off? The original sound setting.
It was on, I think.
Oh, Is there a setting for musicians?
I
Try
don't
singing
know.
and playing the guitar. Because when
Yeah.
you start, the audio would go out.
It's okay. Tech check.
Can you hear the piano?
Yes.
Can you hear? Yeah. Try,
Yeah.
but try both at the same time though.
La la la.
The audio went out with, I guess, with the piano, or when you added.
Yeah.
The
I think once it hits a certain range, it starts to cut off, and that's just something that Zoom does. There's nothing. It's not you guys. It's not you. There's something with the sound settings that we need to work on or perfect. You were looking at the options right now. Was there anything about like high fidelity sound or anything like that?
I mean, maybe because I'm on my phone, it doesn't
Yeah,
have like
the user
options.
interface is the user interface is always different. That's why I always have trouble working with people's phone. Or do you have the auto volume checked on the sound settings?
I think so.
If you turn it
Yeah,
off,
it's
that
just
should
like
also.
a little microphone or a little sound icon at the top, and it's either this or this.
What does it say?
It's like a little sound icon with like, it either has like sound waves coming out of it or like a little X next to it like that.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are trying to give you advice based on the desktop version of Zoom, but since you are on mobile, the options are going to be a little different. Yeah. What a bummer. Back in the day, it was a little easier, but I guess maybe the options have changed. But it is something we can go over and fix, like with some dedicated time.
Yeah,
But,
maybe I need to get like a microphone too.
no, it's not necessarily that. The Zoom's just crazy. I mean, it's not really meant for live music anyway, so it kind of treats it kind of weird. But we'll look at it. I don't know if you had maybe like a piece you wanted to share instead, or
Another
an acapella if you want. Up to you.
yeah, if it's okay to do another poem.
Yeah, let's do another poem, and then maybe we'll do a sound check. So next time, like we got this covered too, because I definitely want to hear your music as well. Cool. Yeah, let's do another poem.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel bad for taking up so much time, guys, but thank you for everybody being patient. Here's one of my signature ones that I will like start off. I'll start off with sometimes as my intro. This one's called Great Writer. So I'll be like, hi, everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I'm the Lizard King. I'm about to tell you I am an excellent writer. And by excellent, I mean hardworking. And by writer, I mean digger. I mean, I have dug my way up over and over and over again. I mean, I was born with a shovel in my hand. Sometimes I wake up and I'm dead, and then I keep digging. And I dreamt of rivers, but I was born on dry land, only two hands. I scoop it out one day at a time, shovel these rhymes, avalanche, break my fall. Some days I wake up, shake up the dirt, but God, it hurts. I mean, not the dirt, the pain. You know, it's a metaphor, right? Yeah, it's all the same. Girl, shovel, ditch, garden, empty canvas. What's my name? Write it out, write it out. What the hell is this all about? Dig it out. What? Oh, you mean the hurting, the old years, that self-doubt, no more detours around the sinkhole, Eho. We're building new roots, planting deep roots. I mean, look at you, the petals suit you. You got that leafy jumpsuit. Grab a shovel and help me dig. Past the years, a bummed out sigs, a bummed out digs. Tell me everyone used to be. My skeletons in the closet all look like me. I'm getting closer to something good. I feel, but I can't see. I used to stand up. I used to sing. Everything was easier before I fell under the sea. It's a metaphor, right? Winter, frozen, desert, empty. What's my name? Digging up all the bad shit. Tell me where the seeds are. I'm learning my own name. I'm yearning for the sun. Took off my shoes. No time to run. I need it. I see it. I see it. I leave it there. The sunshine. I bottle up the rhymes. I take my time. I wait for those things to move, those seeds to bloom, those seeds of all those years stuck in that little room I carry with me everywhere. The one full of voices that beg me to go up the golden stairs. I almost listened, but instead I chopped off my hair. It's almost the same thing. I never tried to be a sane thing. All I ever wanted was to find the key. I dug so deep, but I found nothing. I choked on dirt, and maybe that was the thing that set me free. The thing that got me clean when I was so sick of me. Sit down and let me tell you about everything, about all the things that made me want to sing again, be my own friend again, get out of my own head again. Let me tell you about everything. The dirt, garden, canvas, painted, shovel, key, paper, pen, ink, keyboard, screen. Who is she? The motherfucking Lizard King.
Yo, that was dope. So really quick, how can people follow and support you online?
Yeah, so my Insta, like you said, is Liz Likes Words. Feel free to follow me. I'll post my shows. My website is lizardglitter.org. I try to keep my events for the month posted on it, as well as mental health resources, crisis resources and stuff. I have a show June 4th. Richie's in it. It'll be at the Rio Grande Theater in Las Cruces.
Yeah, awesome. And with that, she peace signs out. Go check out the great work that she's doing. And again, with Nami, if you guys aren't sure, look it up. Yo, that was an adventure. You know what though? But that's what these are. It just, I mean, even in live shows, stuff happens. So we were just trying to working out, and it's fine. In the future, I think if you guys want to play music or anything, we can do like we do the green room before the show starts. We can try stuff out, or if you want to stick around after this show, we can also mess around with like technical side of things like that. Zoom's always changing up, and it also depends a lot on your equipment, like your Wi-Fi, your bandwidth, your equipment. There's a lot of variables that will change from person to person. So, it's just a matter of troubleshooting at that point. But no worries. You never have to apologize for taking too much time, or if there's a technical thing. We're here just to like have a good time, sit back, relax, enjoy everyone's work. And that last piece was great. It was fire. We got to experience that. And I love it. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and go to main. And anytime somebody leaves a custom intro bio for me, I have to read it. So let's see. What do we have here? The fortune in a fortune cookie won't come true unless you eat the cookie before you read the fortune. These are words from our next performer. As always, our main man in Maine. Let's go ahead and welcome Generalissimo Brian Franco. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Gracias, Ricardo. So let me just get this ball rolling. I wrote this one up on Saturday. It's called Dear Mrs. Lusher. Dear Mrs. Lusher, first, I apologize if I spelled your name wrong, but you were a math teacher. You were every kid's favorite fifth grade teacher at St. Paul's Episcopal School in Mobile, Alabama. You were an exuberant redhead with a smile that lit up every room you entered and every soul of every person in your presence. You taught us how to balance our checkbooks. Imagine a fifth grader in 1976 with a bank account. We all had fake accounts in the Bank of St. Paul's with starting balances of $100. We learned about making deposits and withdrawals and had opportunities to spend or save our money for the duration of the semester. Some kids were naturally frugal, while some were spendthrifts. Some found their balances at zero before it ended. I do thank you for creating a bank with no overdraft fees. I remember how you always smiled and laughed and made me feel worthwhile after I was bullied. You were that teacher that taught kids it was okay to be themselves. You were every kid's favorite fifth grade teacher. You and your smile were a walking, talking hug. I was in the seventh grade when my mom invited me and my brother Paul into the living room to tell us you had committed suicide. It was beyond my comprehension. You were loved by everyone. You and your ever-present smile was a constant ray of sunshine for kids who experienced private thunderstorms. It was rumored that your husband abused you. Not much information was known. Kids at school never mentioned it to each other. I assume other parents had talks with their kids. I wonder if your smile was like makeup tattooed to your face to hide your secret turmoil. But who you were to your students was as real gets. You were a teacher who taught with gusto. You taught fifth graders how numbers work, responsibility, and kindness. I think about you whenever I read an article about a nurse, fireman, or teacher who decides life is no longer worthwhile, and I still don't comprehend any of it. Sincerely, another adult whom you made a difference for when they were in the fifth grade. And this is another piece that I did this past weekend. It's called The Most Important Strings Are Born from Hearts. As a young ukulele, I believed I could grow up to be a 12-string classical guitar. I longed to be played in the courtyard at the Guggenheim in Bilbao, Spain. As a teenager, I decided I could be a six-stringer owned by a folk singer who dabbles in the blues. I had heard how good it feels when a blues singer slides a metal tube over his finger and makes your strings orgasm. But alas, I never experienced a growth spurt. My owner, who only played me for his family in Hawaii, gave me to his surfer son, who took me with him as he surfed his way around the globe. The tattooed boy had tattooed me with stickers from everywhere he surfed, as if the stickers were stamps on my passport. Then one day he got hurt and could no longer surf. He spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. He traveled the world with me in his hands as he sang songs that were born of the waves he had written. He never bought another uke or guitar with more strings. He said to do so would be to abandon his father's soul that existed in my frets. Though he fell in love more than once, he never married. He believed his mission in life was to spread the love and humanity he inherited from his father. When I was a boy, I was a gift to a teenage boy who listened to folk and blues and classical guitar music. Though he would play me and sing to girls he thought he loved and to his wife and child, I always thought he longed for more strings, but he never replaced me. And when he taught his boy how to play me, he said I was his prized possession and told his boy to never take me for granted. While I traveled the world with him, he often talked to me as if I were his dad. He cried over many broken hearts while strumming me. He never took me for granted, just like his dad never did. And now I live in a glass case in the Smithsonian, having lived a truly wonderful life and happy to have known I never needed more strings to make beautiful music. And I'm going to do these two chocolate poems that I wrote for the New Yo tonight. The first is called Ganache. I have never been a chocoholic. I do prefer dark chocolate to milk chocolate, but I prefer white chocolate to dark chocolate. And then God created ganache. Just say the word, ganache. It is mandatory to stretch out the SH sound at the end of the word. The phonetic pronunciation of ganache sounds like Niagara Falls. Then there's the actual texture of ganache. Fill a tiny iced teaspoon with ganache, pass it through your lips the way it will feel when the bottoms of your top teeth touch it. Then it melts along your tongue and over your taste buds, is akin to how it feels when the barrel you've ridden over the falls in hits the Niagara River and sinks, then surfaces, then is pulled out. Then as you exit the barrel on dry land, your only thought is, when can I do this again? There are no poppy parts in ganache, but its addictiveness qualities qualify it as a Schedule I opiate derivative. I may not be a chocoholic, but I could die happy if I die after sinking into a pool of quicksand made of ganache. And then this final one is called Anti-Chocolate Chip Rant. How did chocolate chips find their way into everything under the fucking sun? A friend has a 1940s cookbook from the Toll House Inn that tells the story of how chocolate chips were just scraps of chocolate to be discarded that were added to a cookie recipe as a gaff. Then the chips half melted into the cookies and created a culinary craze. But I disagree with the ubiquity chocolate chips have achieved in the American food lexicon. 1, chocolate chips and chocolate chunks and brownies are overkill. 2, to sprinkle chocolate chips into icing or frosting on a cake or as an ice cream topping is not a good thing, Martha. 3, on that note, I am not a fan of chocolate chips and ice cream. I prefer my mint chocolate chip ice cream without chocolate chips. 4, I should write a dissertation about why chocolate chips do not belong in cannoli. They just don't. A little bit of dried fruit sparsely dispersed in the ricotta filling is classic stuff, but chocolate chips make an American mockery of an Italian classic. 5, chocolate chips have no place inside pancakes or waffles. Chocolate chips do not belong in my breakfast, period. 6, they do make a damn good cookie, but I prefer oatmeal raisin. Gracias, everyone. I'm putting in the chat.
Oh, the controversy you have stirred up.
You
right.
should have heard my brother when I read it, though. He did agree with some things, but disagreed with most. And I'm going to just put in the chat right now how you can vote for me for the NAMI New Jersey contest. It's really important. And if you copy this whole thing and put it as or go to my Facebook page, Generalissimo Brian Franco, and just either share the post, then a lot more people could vote. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, Richie. Thank you, Kid. And of course, thank you, Miss Schofield, for giving us Kid.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. Yeah, awesome. I copied and pasted that to share on YouTube chat. It's a little long, so I'm gonna have to cut it up in one point. But yeah, check out his poem, and if you can't vote for it, again, that's I never thought I could be a cartographer. Want to give a shout out.
And I would also like to say that they asked you to vote for 3 poems. So if you want to vote for the one that's called Uncommon, which is written by Rescue Poetics, who's a friend of mine, please vote for that as well, because it's an amazing poem and she's an amazing poet.
Awesome. There you go. That's the advice right there. So if you find yourselves on the website, be on the look for that. Be on the lookout for that as well. From Nami, New Jersey. Cool. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming through. Always and doing that thing. I do want to give a shout out to other people watching on YouTube right now. As always, Samuel Wilson. Great to have you on. If you guys don't know, Samuel here is a lot of the time, and he's just giving props and praise to you guys on the YouTube chat most of the time. So it's great to have him here. His sister Amanda also doing really well, has a book out. Shout out to Julian. Julian, I don't know if he's read here before. He has read in person. He has a nonprofit called Real Talk, and his YouTube is Going Blind, Enjoying Life. So it's good to see you, Julian. Glad to have you tuning in, listening in with us. Yes, and hopefully we get to see you in person again pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and continue. We have someone that's new in town. And as always, I'm going to go ahead and read off their custom intro, because you spent some time writing something for me. I'm going to read it out. So yeah, joining us from El Paso, Fernando is out here having fun, cracking wise, and being chill, but in a way that transcends those descriptors into something much more elegant, in a way that screams, yeah, I take in fine art and can't afford my rent. So what? We're trying to work on that. We really are. But it's been a blast having him in town, checking all the readings, and of course, having him here on the online shows. He already has a featured reading coming up pretty soon. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and welcome the man with the golden, silky smooth voice. Let's welcome Fernando Antonio Montejano. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate that that whole thing. I mean, I know I wrote some of it, but the rest of it, that was you. That was great. Thank you. So am I coming through well? Everybody can hear me? Okay. Excellent. So thank you everybody for joining. Good night, Lizard King. I hope you have a good one. I was going to say thank you for starting off the discussion. Hope you have a good night. All right. Yeah, I also wanted to read a couple pieces as far as mental health stuff goes for the month, and they were a couple of pieces that I thought they're older, but I wanted to sort of use these pieces because they've been significant milestones, I think, in my recovery through certain things. So the first piece that I wanted to read here was when I had made a pretty significant decision, I think, obviously, to clean myself up entirely. So this piece is very, very old, but it's very, very short. It is called Rapture. I carry tears like precious gems in my arms, but they are worth very little, and they won't buy my way into heaven when the rapture comes. I've seen visions of the future where hot light burns through the past and forgives me for knowing I am naked. And though I run only in dreams, I am panting through fevers, living within my sadness. So I take pills to forget the rapture comes, and I smile through artificial lights, with hands clasped like I know what prayer is. Thank you. The next piece that I wanted to read, again, was one sort of at another milestone within my mental health. And it was specifically as I was getting to a certain point within my DBT, my dialectical behavior therapy, and I was learning a lot more about sort of my attachment issues and how my trauma affected a lot of that stuff. And this piece was specifically written at a point when I was sort of delving deeper into this really long relationship that I that I had just gotten out of and was feeling a lot of different things about, but I was sort of still hung up on it. And I think I just wanted to explore that for myself and sort of dig into those thoughts. So this is, it's titled 06/12/16, which is not a date. It is actually a hospital room that I was staying in at the time. Fogging up windows, wondering how many more times I'll see you before I go away again. I've spit bullets back into the pistols that didn't kill me, but I can't seem to deal with the things you said. I go away because I am only me, and there's too much of you trying to make its way back into my heart. I have holes in my lungs from trying to breathe you in. I can feel tumors growing beneath my skin at the places where your hands held me when I needed to believe there was something more here. It feels like I've been kicking over the same old stones for a year just to find a deep enough hole to hide in. I fog up the windows watching you drive away, and every time it's the last time, but you always come back. I'm wondering how many times I'll see you before I finally go away again. My nights are hollow shells left from rifles that just can't seem to hit the mark. And that horizon you disappear into is speckled with flocks of birds migrating back after winter. Thank you. So I wanted to read one more of my own. This is actually one that I'd been working on for a while, as I had sort of reached a point where I was feeling really proud of a lot of the progress that I'd made mental health wise. And I actually just finished it last night. So I was feeling really good about it. So I wanted to share it with you guys. This will be the first time that I think I'm sharing it with anybody. I just finished it. So hopefully you all like it. And I get, again, like
New
I said,
shit.
yeah, new shit. And so it is, yeah, it's just a piece that specifically I think is summarizing up a lot of the things that I had been going through and sort of where I'm at now and how I'm feeling about all of these things, the changes that I've been making in my life and all of that fun stuff. So this is called Bloody Knuckles. At one point in my life, these knuckles were crusted with other people's blood, itching with dry skin and calloused from razor blade scrapes on white mirrors. Scars lace the length of my body, and I wear them like tally marks of all the things I survived, reminders of the days when St. Peter spoke to me through cigarette smoke from behind gilded gates, sending me back to a life I was eager to end, but he knew I'd find peace in greater than heaven would ever be able to grant me. Nowadays, I fall in love with each set of eyes full enough to lock with mine, not because I need the company, but because I'm heavy with years of pretending these wounds don't bleed and convincing myself that others don't see the dried blood all over my face. I'd rather admit my mistakes and come fully as me to be than to be a shadow along barbed wire fences, popping stones underneath rubber soles as I haunt alleyways with the ghosts of those versions of me I couldn't love into a better Fernando. I am and always will be an amalgamation of those moments I choose to remember, so I will fill them with people I can't bear to look away from, and I will never apologize for the way my heart percussions symphonies for those bodies I've made a home in, and those friends who've blessed me enough to stay. Thank you. And then, before I go, I actually wanted to do the tradition, right? So I'm going to do a cover. And I wanted to put the hat on. I know you guys said last week, that's how it goes. So it's the boo hat. So the poem that I wanted to share is actually from a long dead poet that I'm sure a lot of you know. He's not some like obscure poet anywhere. It's Pablo Neruda, and it is a piece by Pablo because Pablo was one of the poets that the vast amount of imagery in his pieces, regardless of how many of his poems were love poems, he still managed to find new images that felt deep and wild and exciting. So I fell in love with, I think, Pablo Neruda before I fell in love with any other poet. And this piece specifically is the one that I think sort of influenced my style moving forward for like the rest of my life, because it is one that I think the style of it, I try to emulate in everything that I do because it feels so grand and exciting, but it also carries that wonder of poetry because that's what it's about. So this is the cover poem. This is Pablo Neruda's poetry, not just Pablo Neruda's poetry, but literally his poem titled Poetry. And it was at that age, poetry arrived in search of me. I don't know I don't know where it came from winter or a river. I don't know how or when. No, they were not voices. They were not words, not silence, but from a street. It called me from the branches of night, abruptly from the others, among raging fires or returning alone. There it was, without a face, and it touched me. I didn't know what to say. My mouth had no way with names. My eyes were blind. Something knocked in my soul, fever or forgotten wings, and I made my own way, deciphering that fire. And I wrote the first faint line. Faint, without substance, pure nonsense, pure wisdom of someone who knows nothing. And suddenly I saw the heavens unfastened and open, planets palpitating, plantations, the darkness perforated, riddled with arrows, fire and flowers, the overpowering night, the universe, and I, tiny being, drunk with the great starry void, likeness, image of mystery, felt myself a pure part of the abyss. I wheeled with the stars. My heart broke loose with the wind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, man. That felt like it was everything. First of all, yeah, what a great reading of Neruda. Very intense, passionate. Yeah, how can people follow and support you online? Because I'm sure people are going to want to hear more of your work.
Yeah, of course. You can follow me on Instagram at the King Grizz. I do mostly there. I have a lot of my doodles, a lot of my drawings. I started drawing about a year ago, and I love doing it. It's been a really therapeutic process as I continued to do it throughout my my dialectical behavior therapies, and now it's just been a practice that I love doing. And I actually even, I guess, a shout out for the things, because this is what this space is for right now. I actually literally today I finished my first notebook of doodles. I finished the entire thing. It's all done, so you can go and check them out. A lot of them are for movies or TV shows. Some of them are based off of pictures that I've taken, because I like to do photography as well. So yeah, the King Grizz on Instagram. But I just finished that book, and on the milestone of that happening today, I just also happened to be commissioned as one of the official visual artists for the Salt Creek Song Festival, which is happening in Nebraska. It's an art song music festival, the only one that happens in Nebraska. So if you know art song, it is like classical music's punk rock little brother. It's a lot of folk music that is taken the form of classical music. It's beautiful. It's a lot of poetry mixed with classical music, and the Song Creek Song Festival specifically is just full of diverse, wonderful artists and a bunch of different incredible artists doing a bunch of incredible things. So very exciting. I'm really excited to be a part of that. I'll drop the link for that so you guys can check it out. Specifically, what I'll be doing is I'll be drawing backdrops for an art song album that was created in honor of Bob Dylan. It's called The 7 Poems of Bob Dylan, and it's all pieces of his. So I'll be drawing in things that are inspired by those specific songs for Bob Dylan, and they'll be projected on the backdrop for the concert. I'm very excited about it. I'll drop the links for all of that, as well as I believe, Richie, I'll be featuring, correct, this Thursday at Capri's. So that'll be live. I'll do a lot more of the big, bombastic, exciting stuff there. So, and that'll be a feature. So I'll get to talk a little bit more. And then I'll even have a 20-minute feature with Time to Arrive later at the end of this month, I believe on the 27th. Or the 23rd. Thank you, Dane. Thank you for the reminder. Very excited, very honored to be asked to feature there as well. And then I'll just be popping up all over the place and doing a whole bunch of fun stuff here and there. So very excited for what's to come. Thank you all for having me here. I'll drop those links in the chat. Thank you, everybody.
All right, man. Plenty to say. I didn't want to stop you there, man, because you got that, like I said, that golden voice. Yes, thank you, Fernando. New here and already has features all over the place. As we were joking around in the chat earlier, a future of features. Yeah, so I was thinking, since he's new in El Paso, I wanted to introduce him with our poetry night at Capri with the featured set. So that's this Thursday. If you guys are in El Paso, come check out more of Fernando's work, and as he mentioned, the kind of more of his stage performance pieces, which I think he debuted a couple last Thursday. I mean, there was just an amazing one about like finding opera as his spiritual, like his in that seeking, finding it through opera and that space. So lots of great work there. Happy to have you here with us, and obviously a lot of people are as well. We're going to go ahead and continue with the show. And if I look at the list here, our next performer reminds us that X marks their spot, marks the spot. And if they had their way, they'd be joining us from the south of France. But unfortunately, they are tuning in from the unglamorous East Bay. Let's go ahead and welcome Finn Bell to the stage. Finn Bell, what is up? We all love
Hey,
you. Oh
what's
no! Oh, look at that.
Hi. So I'm just going to share 3 poems. One of them is an original, but older, and 2 of them are covers. Am I allowed to do 2 covers? I guess. Okay.
Yes.
So the original is called Glass House. It is inside the thin layer collapsing the sleeping world. So I may wake, my last dream wanting to cling fast. It is a vision of glass walls, of glass floors and glass ceilings. No entrances, only exits, only pathways, only mazes. I begin whispers at first, inaudible to my ears, perceived by my cats as lullabies. Knowing they nod and close their eyes, the rising sounds on my tongue are sounds of safe harbor. I listen to them, to commit them to my memory. They will tell me that I am not meant to understand them yet. I list the plans of days and lifetimes almost coalesced into being and flip them over light and airy. They are pancakes now. I want to consume them before they grow stale, are not palatable, and I have to throw them away. Such are fantasies in the daylight. They don't want to stay and sit at the table with you and drink their pulpy juice and chew on scrambled eggs and read the newspaper and hush. They just want to die right there on the unmopped floor. I imagine the layers of me, scab, scale, skin, flesh, peel away thin like deli meat. I am frenzied to hasten that process of decay. Think better of the idea. Halt it. Change my mind and goad it. Gouge pieces of me to give away in secret. I marvel at my bloodied fingernails. I am pleased that with each tear, I am closer to my soul. I could rip past fascia and bone and feel no pain at all. In parts I have hollowed. In parts I am hollow. In parts I feel hollow. I am here. I do not let the walls touch me like this, yet still they follow me to the middle of the room where I bend myself to be small. They know this game of mirror movement. I shrink, they shrink. I breathe, they breathe. The space contracts. A cry emits from afar. I fall into silence, in eyelids thanking the respite of gravity. I slip into the crevice. Widening as waking relents, shows scarce mercy. Let's go. I walk these slumbering halls, run my fingers along impossible sanctum, watch them stick to the cool glass expectation. There are no windows. There are no doors. The next poem is from The Chameleon Chronicles by Terry Rose Jurtson. This poem of hers is on page 36. It's called The One Forgotten. Too basic to stand out, too old to be fresh and young, too mediocre to be great, too non-ethnic to be ethnic, too fat to be skinny, too weird to be cool, too tired to be energetic, too private to be exposed, too broke to be extravagant, too conservative to be erotic, too evil to be good. And if only the good die young, that means I will live forever, only to be forgotten. And I wanted to end with something that is inexplicably spicy. I want to end with 21 love poems, the floating poems, unnumbered, Adrian Rich. Whatever happens with us, your body will haunt mine. Tender, delicate, your lovemaking. Like the half-curled frond of the fiddlehead fern in forests, just washed by the sun. Your traveled, generous thighs, between which my whole face has come and come. The innocence and wisdom of the place my tongue has found there. The live, insatiate dance of your nipples in my mouth. Your touch on me firm, protective, searching me out. Your strong tongue and slender fingers reaching where I had been waiting years for you in my rose-wet cave. Whatever happens, this is Adrian Rich, 21 Love Poems. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I think this is possibly the first full Avatar performance we've received to happen during the pandemic. This is awesome. Finn Bell, happy to have you in Avatar form. You poet, Fincabulary, Poetry Global Network. Anything else you want to promote really quick while you got some screen time?
I was kind of I was pleased more so than I should have been when I found out that the Avatar is no longer just desktop, and they now have it for the beta version for the laptop. So I don't have to always put makeup on. Yay for no makeup. So on Wednesday, I have a new program with Fincabulary. It is Jennifer Newsy's her creative wet lab, which happens every third Wednesday with Fincabulary. And this one is titled Verses and Voices, a poetry show and tell. You bring a cherished item with you, and then we all write poetry, connected poetry to the item that you bring. So everybody brings an item for show and tell, just like going back to elementary school. And then on Saturday, super excited for this. We're having our Asian American Heritage Showcase. I'm co-hosting it with Keith Marr. And among some of our friends, we do have Lawin Bulatao, Lakan, of course, Chris Mooney Singh, and many more people. Oh, Marine Medina, yeah. So please do join us. We'd love to have you.
That is awesome. Yes, I agree with Mike Sindler here in the chat. That is a great lineup. Excellent lineup. I'm gonna have to mess around with that Avatar stuff too. Sometimes I don't feel like putting on my makeup either. Just
I want to see a Richie Avatar and then a separate one with shades on.
There you go. Oh yeah, I forgot my shades. And you even promoted today like that. Hold on a second. All right, let's get back. That means what was the phrase you used? Inexplicably spicy. That's a great phrase. I'm gonna have to throw that one in as well. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to the online open mic presented by Barbed Open Mic series. If you haven't already, check us out on social media, your social media of choice. You can follow us if you haven't already. We're going to go ahead and continue onward. We're going to tumble onward, and we're going to we're going to stick around in San Francisco. He hosts Time to Arrive Open Mic, and like me, is a left-handed troublemaker, the good kind. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Dane Ince. Take it away, Dane.
Hi, thanks everybody. I'm going to start off with the cover because that's what a left-handed person would do. This is County Cullen from May 1925, Poetry Magazine. Threnody for a Brown Girl. Weep not, you who love her. What rebellious flow grief undamned shall recover, whom the gods bid go. Sorrow rising like a wall, bitter, blasphemous. What avails it to recall beauty back to us? Think not this grave shall keep her, this marriage bed confine. Death may dig it deeper and deeper, she shall climb it like a vine, body that was quick and sentient, dear as thought or speech. Death could not, with one trenchant blow, snatch her out of reach. She is nearer than the word wasted on her now, nearer than the swaying bird on its rhythmic bough, only where our faith is much as a mustard seed, aching, hungry hands might touch her as they touch a reed. Next piece, Threnode for a Raven. This rhapsodic ode to the comedy of humanity is a threnody for Neomosony, who has left me in agony. This rhapsodic code to the comedy of humanity reminds me of the day you lied and left and became a person dead to me. This rhapsodic ode to the comedy of humanity is a threnody for Neomosony. Someplace in Alaska, the plane overshot the runway, crashed, burned. Now, I will never know. It's a journey, becoming an expert on the secret shape of holes. I carry this from the day in the dark in a bare wood room at the back of the house on Collins Street. The sun was streaming bright, beating down bright on a bare dirt backyard. The front yard surrounded by a small grove of black oak trees. In springtime, the fuzzy asp would rain down from the branches high, stinging near the creek where we caught crawdads. Blinking, trying to make sense of the words. What would it mean? What does it mean? Your daddy died in a plane crash. I thought you should know. KRM Ekphrastic. Dark and raven, you, image of you, cool, pearl, fire, pulse, beat on the skin and out, inked of the icon oceanography, grindhouse, flicky out eyeliner, hard as granite ice cream melting on flat Texas highway, hot summer poet, lay out the discovery, chemical philosophy, panacea, preparer of elixirs, the one people fall in love with. You fall in love with them, and seeing that they see themselves falling into ancient rhythm, chants, heroic and eloquent of rabbits on the edge of desert city gutters, soft, strong, and powerfully smart, because the desert is still wild, dangerous, for real, not pulp fiction, fake and sweaty, goth, biker, zoot suit, armor uniform, proudly worn like a sandstone kaleidoscope, stargazing from the Cecil Hotel rooftop at midnight in a coal mine tunnel. A Life magazine pictorial of Edward Hopper style painting chameleons on Venice Beach at neap tide, moonless with love like sage smoke, medieval chemistry, pointing with a drumstick at a passage in a poem. Look this way, see? Sparkle in dark and wonderful eyes, swimming with the processes and doctrines, taking the base, the plain, the common, the pure, the good, seeing it as so, seeing it is so, turning it into gold because you see it that way. You have been discovered by souls, flash flood in the arroyo, found out now, you, alchemist you. Next piece, Yountville. I went to Yountville once. Fancy hotels and restaurants. Closely I looked, saw the people who worked, did all the work. They did not roll by in fancy cars. They work hard, dance when winter hills are alive, green rain filled bright to neon under blue stone, storm gray clouds. They are art, love, heart. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, I wasn't sure if that was the end. My bad. I was like, I hear people cheering, clapping on, and I looked up. Dane, cool. What do you have coming up, or how can people follow and support you online as well?
Oh, okay, great. 2019 DMI is the Insta, and on Tuesday nights I'm hanging out at Time to Rise 6 p.m. Pacific time. So hope to see you guys then.
Same. Thank you so much. Glad you can make it on as well. All right. Yeah, be on the lookout for more of those. All right. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Once again, thanks for tuning in to our Monday night online open mic. If you are new here, hello. If you're returning, great to have you back. Either way, show us some love and participate in the live chat. If you're here, where you're listening in from, what lines stick out to you, what made you feel something, let us know you're here. And if you're watching this later on during the week, again, our future, but your present, then yeah, let us know. Who did you enjoy? What did you like? What do you want to hear more of? Who do you want to hear more of? But we're going to go ahead and continue on. And it's great to welcome someone back to the show that we haven't seen in a while. And also it restores something that we used to have in the early days of these online mics, something we called the 1-2 punch, the birthday twins. They were always signing back to back, and we get that tonight. Something feels great about that. So, making their triumphant re-debut to the Monday night show, joining us also from El Paso, let's welcome to the stage Lee Martinez Soto. Lee, MV Lee. Hey.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
So I have one old poem, some new poems, and then shorter poems, and then a cover poem. So I'm going to start with the old one. And this is called, Will Someone Please Think of the Children? And I'm going to keep reciting this until all of this shit is done with. I will start with this long list of all the things that make my insides twist and turn, cause my sleep to fade away, my will to live to go away, with a short warning for those of my LGBTQIA family. Take a break, look away, practice any amount of self-care we are allowed under the current wars waged against our existence. For all cisgender heterosexual people, this is your time to demonstrate your true allyship, so listen well, pay attention, make the spaces taken by these monsters safe again for us. As of February 6, 2023, 382 bills designed to cause harm to LGBTQIA siblings under the guise of protecting children's minds, morality, and good old American values have been proposed. Will someone please think of the children? Arkansas, Mississippi, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah passed and signed into law the government's militant white Christian nationalist rights to regulate bodies, restrict the ways in which we validate our own existence, take away life-saving medication and procedures, detransition, and make us prone once again to the grasp of death. 82%, the rate and prevalence of suicidal thoughts in transgender youth. 45%, those who have tried attempts against their own lives. But death does not stop there, with the likelihood of 4 times and over 4 times too many to be victims of sexual assault, aggravated assault, violence, and murder. Numbers accumulate, every bill adds another number to the tally. Find their names on the news, shoved below the latest political frivolity, celebrity gossip, consumerist bullshit. Jasmine Star Mack, 36, the first violent killing of 2023. Shashay Henderson, 31, discovered only after a fire was set on her and her belongings. Brazil Johnson, 28, her killer still at large. Maria Jose Rivera, 22, apparent murder-suicide case. Sashi Imanitiwato, in the parking lot of her own workplace. Unique Banks, 21, victim of yet another mass shooting. Casey Johnson, 27, went missing on January 13, found dead on January 14. Tortuguita, 26, indigenous, queer, non-binary environmental activist, killed by Georgia state troopers while protecting the Wilauni forest. Gay, 16, fatal stab wounds. Will someone please think of the children? As of March 13, 2023, 409 bills have been designed state by state, exact copies of one another or worse, attacking free speech and expression, schools and education, civil rights and healthcare. 8 passed, 333 advancing. Texas, 45 bills to make knowledge less and less accessible, the words to find ourselves far from our reach, ban books, jail t-shirts, limit the public spaces in which we can exist, be safe, find family and friends, out of sight, out of mind, better yet, if out of life, prejudice, discrimination, harassment, violence, and social isolation, eradicate us. Shove us back into the closet, trust no one just in case they hate you, just in case they want you dead. Will someone please think of the children? Inked by hatred, designed to harm, but please tell me again how you're only thinking of the children. That one was one. And I do have some new ones. These ones are very short, so I'm just gonna go over them. This is called Decisions. Unbalanced footsteps fall one after the other, unsteady cosmic meanderings with no destination in mind. I was told to make a choice, but I made the options my writing prompts, and I wrote a story for each of them all. Now, where do I go? Pasos desequilibrados caen uno tras otro, inestables deambulaciones cósmicas sin un destino en mente. Me dijeron que hiciera una elección, pero convertí las opciones en mis temas de escritura y escribí una historia para cada una. Y ahora, ¿a dónde me voy? Body horror. Dissonance of shapes, written creature hungry for release, trapped in flesh that doesn't fit. What transformation awaits the next time I wake up with the sunken realization that I do not know who I am? Disonancia de formas, criatura retorcida, hambrienta por libertad, atrapada en carne en la que no encaja. ¿Qué transformación aguarda la próxima vez que despierte con esta realización abatida de que no sé quién soy? And this is my last one. This is called Grief. When I first lost my dad, I entertained the idea that he must have grown tired of his family, so he feigned his own death, changed his name, and moved to another country, back to the secret family all married men apparently have. Grief made me think ridiculous things, stalk his social media for clues of where he was, anything to not think of the finality of his death and the inevitable repercussions it would have on our lives. I would rather be angry than acknowledge the part of me that died with him. Los primeros días, después de haber perdido a mi padre, me planteé la idea de que debía haberse cansado de su familia, así que fingió su propia muerte, cambió su nombre y se mudó a otro país, de vuelta a la familia secreta que aparentemente tienen todos los hombres casados. El dolor me hizo creer cosas ridículas, acechar sus redes sociales en búsqueda de pistas de dónde estaba, cualquier cosa por no pensar en la finalidad de su muerte y las inevitables repercusiones que tendría en nuestras vidas. Preferiría estar enojado a reconocer la parte de mí que murió con él. And then the last one, it is oh my God, sorry. The original one is in Spanish. It is by Idea Vilariño, and I have a translation for it. This is called Todo es muy simple. Todo es muy simple, mucho más simple, y sin embargo, aún así hay momentos en que es demasiado para mí, en que no entiendo y no sé si reírme a carcajadas o si llorar de miedo o estarme aquí sin llanto, sin risas, en silencio, asumiendo mi vida, mi tránsito, mi tiempo. Everything is so simple, too simple, and nonetheless, there are moments when it is too much for me, when I do not understand and I don't know if I should laugh out loud or if I should cry in fear or stay like this without tears, without laughter, in silence, taking over my life, my movement, my time. And that's it.
Yay, Lee. It's so great having you back. And as I always like to say, that wasn't just it, that was everything. I see you have your Instagram tag, Cadaveres Literarios, under there. You can check it out. No need. And of course, what else? Anything coming up you want to promote? I'm glad you're still writing, and I'm glad you made it out.
I am still writing. I think I have June 11th, kid, if I'm not mistaken, for Tumblewords.
10th.
The 10th. Okay. So yeah, I have June to the 10th for Tumblewords. I still don't have a topic but hopefully I'll have one this weekend because it's a long weekend for me. But yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Very cool. Awesome. Yes, thank you, Lee. And if you have not had a chance to check out Tumblewords, there are plenty of great opportunities to go check them out. I'm going to say, Lee, you can also has books published that you can find online. And I was also done some translation work for several writers in the community. So if you guys are writing and are looking for, if it makes sense to do so, right, hit them up.
I'll share my link about the translations in here in a little bit. If you're interested, I've done also, one of the reasons why I've been so busy, I'm doing more professional translations. So I took on a big one from the Association of Professional Piercers that I did translations for. So yeah, if you're interested in also professional translations, I am your person for it.
There you go. That's great. And I can forward that link as well. Also shout out to Andres, who's on YouTube supporting. As always, great to see you on the YouTube live chat, Andres. Yeah. Alrighty then. Thank you, Lee. We're going to go ahead. And as we've done so many times in the early days of the open mic, right after Lee, we have Mr. Monday Night. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Kit Wren. Kit, take it away, my friend.
Hello, Richie. Hello, everyone. Hello, you in the future. You look good. That new diet's really working for you. Well, the day after Mother's Day, and sometimes this surprises people when we're out and about. But Robin Schofield, who you saw earlier, is actually my mom. It's very funny when someone comes up to us and goes, "So how did you two guys meet?" And it's like, it's a funny story. We'll tell you later. But I want to share two poems that I wrote about her that I'm going to cover, a poem she wrote about me, and then close with a second cover. My mother wants to share in the pride of our neighbor, but feels compelled to make small amendments. It's a fine tree, she says, but it's not a mesquite. Mesquites don't flower. And do you see those thorns? Your excellent mesquite is an even better acacia. It occurs to me that this is that thing that I am asked to produce on demand like a photo ID, a practical use for poetry. To correct affections without changing their vectors. Our love, like a contract, must be drawn with care and in terms as specific as possible. I am proud to call this the family business, an ancient, noble, essential trade. To mark the place of the thorns and buds, to map the trails of the wandering shadows, and to match prisms to their suited lights. Perfect. I guess this one's family business part 2. My mom and I are in the same field and arrived independently at the same heroes. She rushes over one morning to tell me that Carolyn Forche just accepted her friend request. I am in the grocery store that afternoon, and she texts me to say that Carolyn just liked the link she shared. First name basis, huh? Just like that. I don't mean to make fun. This is genuinely exciting to me. Despite its silly 21st century scene markers, I think if this moment were fuel, it would burn cleanly and brightly. It is just as well that memories are not fuel, and that we cannot, in moments of panic and shortfall, attach thermite to our mountainous lobes and blow through, taking only the moments we want. It is just as well that Carolyn Forche, as she walks through a supermarket debating between 2 brands of cornmeal, cannot choose when she sees human ears scattered on the aisle floor, and cannot choose when they perk up or what they hear. And this is from her 2019 winner of the Southwest Book Award, Flo. Even though this is about her, it's also about me because I'm a tremendous egomaniac. So this is Changes at Percha Dam. We have to stop and get you a fishing license. I don't care to catch any fish, but want this time under the trees by the Rio Grande, outdoors with you. We go over a levee on a dirt road to get to the dam in still water. Your bones stretch and tendons snap as you break your line. Above us, bald eagles roost. Suddenly, I'm looking up into your heron blue eyes. I'm level with the crooked crowns that came in after the milk teeth, brow furrowed from birth. I held you during your helpless years, but now you develop muscles without effort and slam the car door hard because you don't know your new strength. And you bang your head as you don't realize how to. Self-involved, shaving what you like to see in the mirror, smile born of braces shining in your mouth. Too bad testosterone erupts on your 17-year-old cheeks. I see my face staring back at me, yet without green eyes or curls. Your straight hair is darkened from the towhead of kindergarten. By your bed, the swimsuit issue lies open to Serena Williams. The air's warm for December, the water cold. We go swimming, and you tell me you're reading Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man and Dawn of Decadence by Jacques Barzun, a book I heard of in grad school but didn't read. One day you'll be one of the rhetoric boys with big boots and big voice. Your legs are hairy as honeybees. Moss creeps over the northern side. You keep turned away at night when a pale stamen spills nectar. I thought I was sneakier than that when I was young, but I guess not, because there's a poem about it. But we'll close with the ultimate Mother's Day poem by the late Philip Larkin. This be the verse. They fuck you up, your mom and dad. They don't mean to. They do. They fill you with the faults they had and add some extra just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by fools in old-style hats and coats who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's throats. Man, hands on misery to man, it deepens like a coastal shelf. Get out as early as you can and don't have any kids yourself. Happy Mother's Day. There we go. We'll just slide right into the self-promotion bits. Instagram, Kit Ran Away. Twitter, Kit Talk Sports. Goodreads.com. Find me there. Talk about books I'm reading now. Books are good. You should try them. Kofi.com/KitRen. Some belletristic articles about football. It's easy enough to find me on Facebook. Easy enough to send me an email. Drop something in the tip jar if you feel so moved. And the Tumblewords Project is still meeting every Saturday in the wilds of the internet. And this weekend, our presenter will be Bill Sparks with some poems of Memorial Day. We're taking actual Memorial Day weekend off, so we're still squeezing into tributes where we can. And June 3rd, local writer Rachel Cachete, who also doesn't have a title yet, so don't worry, Elite, don't be self-conscious. And then June 10th will be, as you just saw, the great Lee Martinez Soto. So, thanks so much, everyone. And we'll kick it back to Richie for the rest of the night.
Yeah, right on. Thank you, Kit. Love that. All right. Spotlight replaced. Yes, great promotion of Tumblewords as always. And we got to work with some of the students at the college last week. So hopefully maybe some of them might get courage to go try and check it out. Hopefully, but we're going to go ahead and continue with the open mic. We're going to go ahead and go to Charlotte, North Carolina, where we have Nemo Sum back in the house. And I believe we'll also have a tag team partner for this one, or at least at some point during the set. So Nemo, what is going on? Welcome back to the show. Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. I will be joined this evening by the Magus Gustav Salas. We did a collaboration and we'd like to share it with you. It is called Neurodivergent Verses.
Follies and fallacies, defying analyses, dreams and illusions, powerful delusions, the seeds of destruction undermine your construction. Enter at your own risk, erase the hard disk, leave a message at the tone, then please put down your fucking phone. Lather, rinse, repeat, refuse to accept defeat. Stop to see the beauty around you. Don't let the bastards confound you. Believe in yourself, it's the only way. Suffer no fools and live for today. I'm neurodivergent. I'm the Godhead emergent.
Endless emergencies, pointless insurgencies. In a state of confusion, it is all a delusion. Why accept the vain seduction when all that comes is soul reduction? The vows they speak are asterisked. Your friends will all be stopped and frisked. These golems made of flesh and bone would like to buy an ice cream cone. Only with your guests replete can you hit the big delete. Someday these ties will no longer bind you. Until that day, let the good leaf unwind you. It's upside down, the acrobats say, illuminated by yesterday. I'm neurodivergent, the garbage phoenix resurgent.
Blindly following, pig-like wallowing, climb out of the sty. Don't be that guy. Put down the shit sandwich. Adopt a new plan which will help us overcome. There's no rule of thumb. Bring peace to all lovers as the UFO hovers and aliens beckon. It's true, I reckon, that love conquers all. Winter, spring, summer, fall. A plan for all seasons with no rhyme or reasons. I'm neurodivergent. My words are urgent.
Like a bird on the wing, learn to dance, learn to sing. It doesn't matter how high you fly, your body falls the day you die. Now you're stuck in a ditch, well, ain't that a bitch? Your comeuppance has come, you cannot say that you're stunned. It's under your covers, it starts with our mothers. The show begins in a second, to the stage I am beckoned. These walls will fall, they'll be having a ball. The goth girls are grieving. These fields aren't a lesion. I'm neurodivergent, ley lines convergent.
Transphobia stupid, arrows from Cupid pierce your heart. Now where to start? Love knows no gender. Refuse to surrender to the mindless hatred. Is nothing sacred? Feel it in your bones. For that love you Jones. Try to remember January to December, all the year round. Fall into the sound of love made manifest. Trust me, it's the best. My neurodivergent love song is all right. It's never wrong.
Your line has been muted. Your rug has been scooted. Your scandalous art is coming apart. You've been on a bender, now you're stuck to a fender. Feeling raw, being naked, your flaws are paraded. On and on with their baloney, their heads are full of mascarpone. Some you chop and some dismember, burn it all and smell the ember. When the drinks are finally downed, they'll find an old queen newly crowned, thick of neck and slight of wrist, the #1 somnambulist. This neurodivergent love story has come to a close in all its glory.
The poem is done.
And we've rocked to the core.
We hope you had fun.
Because there ain't any more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love it. You know what? We don't see enough team pieces. Nemo, was that it? Do you have another, or did you want to share how people can get a hold of you?
I will throw my stuff into the chat, but yeah, I'll step aside. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. And of course, Gustav Megas801 on Instagram. Appreciate you hearing you rocking the Neo cap. I saw that there. Pretty cool. Yeah. Yo, I mean, definitely I welcome more team poems, group poems, collaborative poems. I think they're always really fun like that. And of course, thanks for the message. All right. We're going to continue on with the night. Our next performer recently graduated, but they're always gravitated, rocking the robes and the cap. And I would too, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations once again. Let's welcome to the stage Elaine the Main. What up?
How are you doing, people? How are you doing, my Monday nights open micers? Thank you for the introduction, Richie. I appreciate it. Tonight, I'm just going to read like 2 pieces. One of them's short. I wrote it a little bit earlier. I hope you enjoy. The second one is a little longer. I wrote that one a couple nights ago, and that one's kind of crazy. So it's I'll let you guys decide. I don't want to go too far over because it is kind of a lengthy piece, but let me go ahead and get started. This one is just titled Open Mic Poetry. Okay, Open Mic Poetry. I was checking the time. This is a grad rap, my thesis statement. I've been on my mad hat, straight contemplating. What am I gonna do before the teacher calls my name? I've been on my mad dash, straight speed chasing. I've been in my glad bag, straight curtailing, thinking to myself, I'm gonna get myself up out of this place. Because I've been dreaming, thinking in iambic. I've been beaming, drinking straight lambic. It's smooth. You can see it in my face. I've been scheming, redeeming my antics. I've been daydreaming, feeling gigantic. I've been soothed, looking for a new headspace. I've been mean with the basketball team. I've been convening with the live stream. This is several grandes of a cream and sugar Starbucks frappe. I've been looking for lesser meaning. I've been spring cleaning. This is my never-ending story. This is my I'm never going back. And that's that. That's my grad rap. I left out a line, but I was like, you know what? I didn't know whether or not I should put it in, but I'm just gonna read it. It's still in the same style, but I just figured I'd share it with you guys. Because this is my I should have studied harder rap. This is my I should have written my papers earlier, man. This is that I know I'm gonna pass. This is for my motto. This is for my fodder. This is my disembodied paragraph. And then that's all I got on that one. I wanted to make sure I got it out there, otherwise it would start messing with me. This is the other one. This is like my free writing thing. Like generally I try and sit down at night and I try and like at least tell myself, you know what, I'm gonna write something tonight. Let's see what I can get out. And then this is what I had a couple nights ago. So I'm just gonna read it to you as is. It's like a stream of consciousness. It's like a stream of consciousness. So I'm gonna read it to you and see what you guys think. It's 10:25, so I hope I don't go too far over. And this is how it goes. Hurry up, you're losing pace, said the rabbit to the hare. He was quite aware of his situation, but hadn't made it past the bend to consider himself still in the race. He was only just aware that in making himself something of a hitch, he managed to procure himself some better instruments to bring him just a tad bit closer to what he was trying to achieve. And what was it that he was trying to achieve? Most nights he had sat there blindly and only realized that he could have made it there farther. Most nights? Motherfucker, the race is going on right now, like right now. So the man stood there and decided that perhaps the best thing to do was to wait for the hare and the rabbit to do their thing. The hare was solely unaware of the potential of his capabilities, which quite frankly was a shame. And the only truth that the rabbit ever convinced the better medallion wearer was that the rabbit was neither here nor there. Get it? Here nor there, hare nor there. Get it? Obviously, the man had to repeat it 3 times for it to sink in, so quite frankly, he got it. The fact that by the 3rd time neither man nor muscle moved indicated that he was in it for the long haul and hadn't brought a truck. There wasn't a truck here, was there? Asked the man who had grown tired of watching the hare and the rabbit talk about crossing the bend. No, there appears to be no truck here, and if there was, they'd be pulling a stunt so much better than whatever gay shit you had going on here. Excuse me. And if it was true, the world would stop still for people like that who had the money and the balls and the pressure and the women and the pussy to down what they wanted. Most other slack-jawed idiots would have been content with watching them do whatever the fuck they wanted, and it was infuriating. God, it was infuriating to know that a man who up until now had no knowledge of anything good perceived or vindicated was something that was enough to drive a hare past the bend. It was enough to make a rabbit sit up. It was enough to take the creature off to the next turn and have him race up the road and through the ramp and over the meadows and past the corn where they kept little Holden sleeping all night. They had dragged, freaking word. They had dragged him out of the cornfields, the wheat fields, or whatever they were growing there. They had dragged little Holden up by his little feet and gripped his ankles and pulled him out to where the brush gets long and laid him there before they flayed the skin off his body. It was a sad thing, actually, to see that. It was fucking sad how they flayed Holden. He was meant for greater things, something of amazing constitution. They had just left him there to be flayed, totally embarrassed and slack-jawed, laying there in the straw as the people took turns walking over him. Slack-jawed, they took over Holden and held him to the point of resuscitation. Holden was too poor of a sport to manage his emotions during that. He had taken the time, getting there, and the fact that he had chosen to flay didn't bide well with what he had in store. Poor little Holden got flayed before he realized that the corn or the weed or the rose bushes were too high to be sleeping in. They had given him hell, and he had recuperated by laying there, slack-jawed and unmovable. Holden held out his hand, and they had dapped it up before he could make sense of what was good for him, which wasn't much, quite frankly. The man turned his back on where they were beating, flaying Holden. He could hear it just over the brush, but he was more focused on the hare and the rabbit and the foot race they were getting into. Why hadn't they crossed the bend yet? Why hadn't there been a noise or some sound of a creature making its way steadily over the hill and past the straw and through the meadow and through the corn? Why hadn't there been a sound like a bee hitting a chalkboard? Why wasn't there the familiar sound of a brook dripping with water, running water actually, slow, small circles in the pool that just kept giving way to more reflections the animals could drink from? Why hadn't there been a brook out there why hadn't there been a brook out there where Holden had been flayed? Fuck it. Hares and rabbits were needing to cross the bend, and poor old Hayden hadn't been flayed yet. Why had he fallen asleep in the stalk stream where the corn gets high when the moon doesn't come out? Funny, it hadn't come out in so long that the corn was starting to get high. It was reaching to where the moon couldn't get it. It was going to where the sun had spent all its time and minutes and money, and then there was the air that was crisp, cool, and calm. The corn ventured into parts that could be mistaken as tomatoes. Tomato trees? Or were they tomato plants? Hadn't they been growing just the other day? And couldn't Holden not sleep within the fields where the workers wept, where the people kept their cold, distinct, succinct, precinct hands from getting at? Yes. There, where Holden was sleeping, they had left a couple of birds near the scarecrow to warn them when the moon was coming out. They had left a couple of scarecrows there wandering behind the wooden words and the low fences. The people who meant things and knew things were out there now working. Working now, actually. They were doing things that only people in the cornfields could see. That's why the hare and the rabbit hadn't moved. That's actually why they had never crossed the bend, because the bend just couldn't be crossed. It had to be tied. The things that were meant for little Holden and the birds was something that was intended for people of lesser knowledge becoming greater beings. There, between the majestic flips and twists of an acrobat, an aeronaut learning how to crash land was trying to convince himself he was Buzz Lightyear because all the light buds had been budding and burning since before the second moon came out. It was blue too. Everything here was blue. The little blue fields were burned blue bright with brownies from the lack of weather. The trees had been windswept for ages, and they never came any closer to the sun, who kept the air hot and musty and dark and dirty and full of dust. The old man would have been proud if he could read this. If he could only seen this, he thought. Wouldn't that have been grand? They could have brought old Holden Handel out from where he slept, and he would have brought ears of corn with him. He would have things to look for. There'd be music, and there'd be dancers, and it'd be all full-fledged fledgies doing the dance, while the real men crept in from the back and described what it was that they were looking for. Because when they were looking for. That's the crazy thing about this dream, and the corn and the cotton and the pools and the trees. It sucks you in and it sucks at me. The cool, dank, dark way of man being able to recollect himself to an image of what was imaginable. Funny, he wanted to write 13 pages, but he could probably write 13 more. There was more to this beautiful sound than just listing. There was actuality, there was eventuality, there was hope and promise and all things that grew in bunches, and people sold them for the highest dollar to people with no money. There was never any money. He had split it all when it seemed too much. He had let it run amok and lost it somewhere trying to figure out how much a couple $100 would net him. He needed something genuine. He needed something to remark on, to remind himself that perhaps this was a passing fad, and he really sold the idea to someone who had a dream that when he'd be doing himself a real dishonest service. He'd be putting him out to be flayed. He would be laying himself out there in the cornfields that weren't really cornfields, but was really just a bunch of rows of unwatered dirt. Had he looked that way because he was expecting to find something growing, or because he loved the sight of nothing, of the barren earth and the faint smell of dirt clotting and sitting, the dust in the air was the smell of movement, of progress, and a hope that he had left better unnourished. He had kept it. He had found something. It was always a he, wasn't it? The damn hare and rabbit had met themselves somewhere out there in the field and still hadn't quite got to the bend in the road that was supposed to indicate the start of their adventure. Was it a race, or was it something that was like the fields in which people demanded to be? There was something out there for less than $1 in a dream, and the dream was doing real well last he had checked. Old Hayden had been flayed for it. Something was too good and something was not nearly as good enough, and yet he couldn't put the fainted brim of an idea or a light onto something that had just come naturally to him. The idea. That's what it was. It wasn't even the full enclosure of thought-encompassing activity or passivity. It was rather just the true dream of a fellow left uncorrected or recorrected and just sitting there thinking that he could do next if he wanted. Fuck. That was the life, wasn't it? He thought when he thought of Holden. Fuck this shit. It would take him a while to hit 3 pages. I was still missing like another 1,000 words. Get some sleep. You'll be better off if you do. You won't be charging the fences and choosing what to think of or where to think it up, when to think. Rather, you'll just be focused on thinking. You'll be so sensed and depraved and unsure about what you want to do that you'll aim for doing the least, which is actually the most of what you can do. Is actually quite sad, because in the moment, the very oust of what you could do something that actually requires the most effort, you'd be happy. Looking and standing and doing nothing rather than just sitting, but rather than just sitting, you'd be rather do the slightest thing that could only constitute being better than average. And you were better than the average. You had come this far doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum nowadays got you further than choosing to do what you did you feel like doing. Sad, wasn't it? I'm not even saying what I was writing. How she had missed it all during her time away. There was something hidden somewhere behind the mispainted roses and the odd-colored leaves that she didn't like to think about. There was something about the way that he was able to get under her skin whenever he wanted. Something about the way that made him something grander than he was. He was grander than him, actually. He was quite better at a lot of things. He was able to tie his shoes quicker. He could speak more fluently. He always had money, and he was always there when she needed him. He could speak with the family, and he could be counted on as one of the guests. And when it came to matters of the heart, he was first and foremost and never missed a beat. His drinking was even better. He had the odd habit of deciding that when too much became too much, he would toss a penny in, watch it curtail and swish and rotate around like one of those machines you see in the mall. The fact that something so small and unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst because he was afraid of the word benign, he had found that thinking of a word so strong and unrestricted made him something less of a man and more pleasurable, something that reeked of having been with something else. To have been with the commoners, as they would say, all he could think about was being with the commoners when she was with him. She loved it, though. She actually did love it. There wasn't anything wrong with the way she loved, but she did love the way that she loved him, and he loved her. He found that in times of conflict, he could count on her to be there for him, to do the things he couldn't do himself. He could count to himself all the times he had made love to him, and he could remember all the spots that became his. He could remember all the moments when things were just too clear and bright and found some way to make it his. He had known that in times like this, that he was the strongest being and the most unimpactful person to be able to pull off the most profound things. He was all by all iterations a poet. He was a better poet than the poet. It was true. Dude. Can I keep going, or it's kind of long?
No, man, I'm messaging you. You're about to hit 12 minutes. It's a little long. You might have to break that one up.
Right, no, that's fine.
It is truly a stream of consciousness.
Thank you for letting me go over a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thanks a lot. Again, congratulations. Or cut it up, something we've done in the past is you could break it up into part 1, part 2, part 3. But yeah, man, how can people follow you online one last time?
Yeah. You can find me at Elaine the Main, ALAINTHEMANE on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well, on Martinez, but that's pretty much where you can find me. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll make sure for the next time that I'll cut it.
Yeah, man. I was expecting you to throw the cap too when you were done with the poem, but you have to finish it next time. All right. You didn't get to finish it though. Hold on to it. Which means you have to dress up next Monday for it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. All right. We got a couple more peeps. Want to make sure we get them on. I was accidentally skipping him because I wasn't sure if it was the same guy. So Alonso, are you signed up as Ace? Is that you? Just wanted to make sure.
Hey, yeah, that's me, brother.
Oh, dude, I did. Okay, I totally didn't make the connection. All right, so we have Ace Theodore, formerly known as Shaggy. But yeah, man, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, actually, I don't have nothing prepared right now. I was just gonna go off something that I was feeling earlier, and see how it went. But then I started painting my wife's office, so I'm not feeling it right now, Richie, if that's all right. One of my favorite poker players passed away today, though, Bunsen, and I did poker, poetry, and a little bit of gardening all day. So I don't know if it's all right. I'll come back another day if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. All good.
All right.
You know where to find us, man.
All right. No, I appreciate all the lyrics and all the talent, man. You guys got some wonderful words. I really appreciate it. Like it really helped me get through today.
Hell yeah, man. Good.
Hey.
Great. Peace out, man. Good luck with that painting, and we'll keep you company if you're tuned into the live stream when we're doing this. Alrighty then, we're gonna go ahead and just continue on. We're gonna go to the East Coast. We're gonna go to Washington D.C. in fact, and check in with Mr. Ed Poetastic. Ed, are you here with us? Let me give a quick check. Yo, what's up, Ed? Welcome back, man. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I love everyone, yours and everyone else's wordplay all day, every day. This wonderful open mic that makes our night such a delight in a wonderful, fantastic spotlight. All right. My name is Ed Potastic. We're feeling fantastic. Please get in time to enjoy my rhyme fall for sublime. Sorry about that. My computer. The first chime is called Anti-Twilight Zone. In a world where food and utility prices are high, where fossil fumes are ruining their skies, where they toss common sense aside, where they use guns to shoot when someone offers them a ride. In a world full of mini or big flashing screens, where they accept technology but few strip their humanity, where they slowly pollute their oceans and seas, where giving them likes or money fuels their sympathy. In a world where violence is on the rise, where a few make speeches but aren't so wise, where they wear strange outfits for a disguise, where they don't care about quality but size. In a world where a few of them act like sheep, where a few stop thinking but leap into frozen creeks, where they laugh at the wounds so painful and deep, where offering them support makes you a creep. In a world where the wealthy are jailed for enormous accusations, where they're avoiding the charges and traveling to unknown destinations, where they drink the sun, exported wine on a vacation, where they blame it on miscommunication or misinformation. In a world where snobbishness will make you a queen or a king, where you show off your body, money, and sparkling rings, where it's cool being a puppet on a strings, where you look good but can't dance or sing. In a world where they judge you by your race or skin, where only bullets and pleas transcend, where only crooked cops ascend, where life from within reaches an unforeseen end. In a world where huge epidemics are in the past, where they refuse to wear a mask, where you should respect but not ask, where it's much more popular to be in a portable flask. In a world where it's cool to be dumb but not smart, where completely nothing can be sold for equivalent art, where you can be sweet but it comes off tart, where it's about conflicting nonsense but not from the heart. In a world where you can travel to oceans or space, where they want to win the political race, where they can change everything including their face, where they chase and chase to find their place. In a world, hold up, this isn't fantasy but reality. Please forgive me of offering virtuality to your morality. It's not brutality of your criminality. It's to give liberality in your dimensionality. Thank you. Okay, I got a spider piece. Stay leaves. This is called Webhead. A mask woven with wise words of great power comes great responsibility. Too bad evil doesn't have any accountability or simplicity. My spider sense is tingling. Day must be near. It's time to post culprits, thieves, and villains into tears. My RNA light being Spider-Man. I do what any friendly guy with spider powers can. I'm swinging through vast buildings in these no expanse tights, trying to juggle the concepts of what's wrong and right. This suit, a sticky emblem to wear, the heavy burdens I must bear but never ever share. They say cry never sleeps, but God, give me a break for once. Does it mean leave time for sleep or a bite for a quick brunch? My mind thinly grasping my funny innocence. My old easy life of being normal, I slowly reminisce. Mary Jane, she's always the web beneath my wings. Her presence always makes my heart swing and sing. Aunt May, sweetest thing next to my heart. I make sure no one or nothing tears apart. Uncle Ben, I'm so sorry, and I hope you're proud of me. I'm proud to be the most spectacular superhero. You'll see. Venom, he was always the oil in my clear pond, pushing my heroic action in the great beyond. Carnage, Venom on overdrive. Every time I fight him, I'm surprised I'm still breathing and alive. Rhino, he's such a dim-witted wrecking ball. Like they always say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Dr. Octavius, a genius with a heart made from vibranium steel. He always keeps me on edge and on top of my heels. Green Goblin, my best friend's maniac bipolar father. After I beat him, I need to prescribe him a great therapist or a doctor. Vulture, he's such a crazy bird brain. He's a bottom of common sense down the drain. Scorpion, he's a new definition of acid rain. I know his dry cleaning is a huge pain. Black Cat, she's my troublemaking minx. She's sexy. Ahem! Sneaky still, little jinx. Sandman, the crook who's fused with the sand, it always feels like me against the barren lands. Electro, he's always a jolt in my sides. He always leaves my cell phone rub shooters fried. Stanley and Kirby, they're marvelous Excelsior guys. Now they're not with us, but became stars in the vast skies. It's just my average day being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the savior of citizens and the punisher of madmen. Thank you. And I got one more for encore. This is called Movie Quotes. I'm sorry, chicken. Sorry for that. Here it is. Great moments in cinema. It has to be the memorial quotes. Always leave us on a higher note. May the force be with you. Hold on to what's true. There's no place like home. Travel outside of your dome. I'm the king of the world! Travel outside of your dome. No, sorry. I'm the king of the world. Set sail across this spiral. Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives be extraordinary. Make your life more than ordinary. Elementary, my dear Watson. Think and collect in all situations. It's alive! It's alive! Get up and strive to survive. My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Always be grateful and never forget. I'll be back. Come back for a little snack. You're going to need a bigger boat. Don't want to die on a low note. Here's looking at you, kid. Be proud of what you did. My precious. Beware of obsessions. Houston, we have a problem. Don't put them off, but solve them. There's no crying in baseball. That's not true. Stand tall. E.T. phone home. Come back to your comfy honeycomb. You can't handle the truth. Take it so you can improve. A martini, shaken, not stirred. All drinks are tasty if you prefer. Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death. Live life to your final breath. If you build it, they will come. Be true, love what you become. The stuff that dreams are made of is made from hard work and love. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Stay close, but don't lose your composure. I am your father. Don't question it. Don't bother. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Don't stop spinning and winning. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Love life and fortune will give birth. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. Be you, and even if you're a butterfly or an ant, what we got here is fair to communicate. Take it out and no more hate. You're talking to me? Don't be a prick, but stay at ease. Hasta la vista, baby. See you again, maybe. Thank you.
You have to have a competition, man, and see who can like label all those like the quickest as you go and you run through them. Thanks, Ed, man. How can people watching online follow and support the work that you do, man?
you can follow me in the work that I do. So you can please come on by and push on through. Please come by to this wonderful, 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 stupendous open mic that makes our Monday night such a light in the wonderful, fantastic spotlight. All right. But you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman and my IG is EddieForeman92. And remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to shine, protest, insight. If you send me a question, you take guess. The answer is yes. Hope you stay positive, safe, and blessed. Never stop spewing one of the words inside your chest, and now stop being, doing, and feeling your best. And congratulations, Alan! Woo!
All right, man. Thank you. Ed Poetastic, everyone. Go give him a follow. Like I said, you can catch him here on Monday nights for sure. Alrighty then. We're gonna go and continue. We have two more performers. I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in on YouTube. Thank you guys. And of course, everyone who is checking this out at any point during the week, the replay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go from DC to Los Angeles, and we're gonna check in with Deso Somok, who's got, I imagine, some work and some music. I'm gonna go meet myself so he can do his thing. Yo, Tez, take it away.
All right, Richie. Good evening, everybody. If I could share a screen, we're gonna be like high hop, split decision, 1-1. Okay, so let me see if I can share. All right, can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, just for the OCD folks, it is misspelled. The Speculative Execution of Democratos, written by Deso Somok, based on the Virginia execution tapes. Fade in, interior. San Quentin execution chamber, night. There are three characters, the chorus, a guard, and a dispatch. Night. Chorus. It is a small windowless room located in the basement of San Quentin State Prison in Marin County, California. It was built in 2003 at the cost of $853,000 and used to carry out executions. Guard. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Dispatch. We are entering the East Block Housing Unit B8. Dispatch 10-4. Guard. Dispatch. It's 2300. An inmate, Democratos, is in his cell. Chorus. The chamber is approximately 10 feet by 12 feet and it is painted a calming light blue color, antithetically associated with peace, tranquility, stress, and anxiety reducing. The blue color makes the walls of concrete appear larger, more open. There is no scientific evidence to support the claim that the color blue makes the execution more humane. Some people believe that the color blue is simply a way to mask the brutality of the execution process. Guard. Dispatch. It's 2305. The warden is proceeding to the cell to read the order by the court to Mr. Kratos. Mr. Kratos has requested to read it himself. The warden has handed him the order. Dispatch 10-4. Chorus. There are no windows. The only light in the room comes from a single fluorescent light fixture. The low pitch buzzing noise as the electrical current passes through the gas inside the tube. The current causes the gas to ionize. This produces ultraviolet light. The ultraviolet light then strikes a phosphor coating on the inside of the tube, which produces visible light. At the end times, who wouldn't be annoyed? At the taxpayer's expense, one wishes for a dimmer switch to reduce the humming and the brightness of the light. Guard. Dispatch, it's 2310, and the inmate is retrying his case. Dispatch. Guard, 10-9. Repeat. Is it worthy of putting on the record? Guard, 10-4. I can't hear everything, but something about the paradox of tolerance. keeps referring to Karl Popper, something about a 1945 book, The Open Society and Its Enemy, Dispatch. 10-9, repeat. Is this a joke? Guard. 10:45, negative. Let me repeat what I can make out again. If a society is tolerant without limit, its ability to be tolerant can be destroyed by the intolerant. Sounds like some kind of riddle or tongue twister. A tolerant society must be intolerant of intolerance in order to protect freedom and safety of its citizens. Dispatch. 10-4, yeah. That was his capital crime. Chorus. In the center of the room once stood a gurney with restraints. The gurney was connected to an IV stand that contained a lethal injection cocktail. In the United States, it is a 3-drug combination of sodium thiopental, pancuronium bromide, and potassium chloride. Sodium thiopental is an anesthetic that puts the inmate to sleep. Pancuronium bromide is a paralytic that stops the inmate's heart. The drugs are injected in a specific order, with sodium thiopental being injected first. This, let's see, I lost my place. It's easy to lose your place. The potassium chloride stops the inmate's heart. The drugs are injected in a specific order, with sodium thiopental being injected first. This is because sodium thiopental needs time to work, and the other drugs will not be effective if the inmate is awake. There was also a heart monitor in the room that tracked the inmate's vital signs. Guard. Dispatch, it's 23:20. Mr. Kratos has completed reading of the court order himself. He's handed it back to the warden. The cell door is opening. The team is walking Mr. Kratos out of the cell. The team is escorting Mr. Kratos to the chamber. Dispatch. 10-4, copy that. Chorus. Today there's an electric chair by decree of the new autocrats that have deemed cruelty as the new point. The wooden chair with restraints on the arms and legs. The restraints are used to secure the inmate in the chair. The chair is also equipped with 2 electrodes, one for the head and one for the leg. The electrodes are attached to the inmate with sponges soaked in a conductive solution of salt and water. Guard. Dispatch, it's 23:25. The inmate is being placed in the chair. He's also being strapped in. All the straps are placed on him at the same time. Dispatch. Guard, ask him if he wants to make a statement. Guard. 10-4, he does want to make a statement. He will relay this statement for the record. He emphatically states, okay, I would like to pray. Ask him about what? What follows is his statement. What is about to be taken here is a murder. He further forgives the people who are involved in this murder, that he doesn't have anybody, he's not mad at anybody, that he loves them. He has them in his thoughts and prayers. He forgives everybody and loves everybody. Chorus. The symbolic salt with its old biblical meanings, the purification of the Old Testament, number 19, 1-10, to purify the unceremoniously unclean, like the ashes of the red heifer mixed with water and sprinkled on those who had been defiled with contact of a dead body, like the Israelites commanded to store their grains with God and Abraham, like these executioners, and sprinkle salt on the sacrifice. Genesis 15:10. Guard. Dispatch. It's 23:45. Did anybody else catch the rest of that? You didn't get it. At this time, the headpiece is being placed on, the mass of the probe. Chorus. The harness is a leather strap that is placed around the inmate's chest and shoulders. The harness is used to prevent the inmate from moving during the execution. The harness is also equipped with a strap that goes over the inmate's forehead. This strap is used to keep the inmate's head in place during the execution. Guard. Dispatch. It's 2350. The minister is saying more thoughts and prayers. Chorus. The electric chair is placed in a small windowless room. The room is usually painted in a light color and is equipped with a few pieces of furniture such as a table and a chair. The room is also equipped with a heart monitor and a camera. The heart monitor is used to monitor the inmate's vital signs during the execution. The camera is used to record the execution. Dispatch. The witnesses are still filing in. They're being signed in and seated. The witnesses are now being briefed. They are all seated. Has the equipment been tested? Chorus. The execution chamber is surrounded by a viewing room that can accommodate up to 12 people. The viewing room is separated from the execution chamber by a glass window. Guard. 10-4. Dispatch. The testing of the equipment is not complete. I repeat. The testing of the equipment is not complete. Chorus. The chamber contains a quartz clock displaying 24 hours military time with large 4-inch 7-segment displays. Quartz clocks are the most common type of timekeeping devices in the world. They are accurate, reliable, and relatively inexpensive. Typical reference frequency used by quartz clocks is 32,768 hertz. This frequency is chosen because it's a power of 2, which makes it easy to divide and multiply. The number 2 is also used to represent the relationship between God and humanity. God is often referred to as the Father and the Son, which suggests a duality within God's nature. Additionally, in the book of Genesis, the heavens and the earth are created in 2 days. By extension, the event has a duality of creation and ending. In the book of Revelations, there were 2 witnesses who prophesied for 1260 days. These represent the Old and New Testament. In the book of Zechariah, 2 olive trees that stand beside the lampstand, which represents the 2 anointed ones, Jesus and the Holy Spirit. In the book of Ezekiel, the 2 cherubim that stand on the mercy seat, they represent the presence of God. Finally, in the book Exodus, God commands the Israelites to rest on the 7th day. And I think we're gonna stop here, right, Richie?
Yeah, I feel like this one's a 2-parter.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't
Sure.
want to step over Alan and outdo him on his graduation.
All right.
I do have a song if you have time, or we can kill it here. I mean, we can execute it. We can execute it here.
We're near the end, so yeah, you can switch to a song, and then we'll get to Dan to close out after that.
Sounds good. Alrighty. I gotta fit this in the screen, and it doesn't want to fit. There we go. There must be some kind of way out of here. Said the joke. with the men that drink my wine. Plowman dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of this worth. No reason to get excited. The thievy cardless spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that. And this is not our fate. Let us stop talking falsely now. The hour's getting late. All along the watchtower. Princes kept their view. While all the women came and went, barefoot servants too. Outside in the cold distance, a wild candid ground. Two riders were approaching. And the wind began to howl. All along the watchtower. All along the watchtower. All along the watchtower.
Awesome, man. You just need that one of those dun dun at the end.
All right.
So where can we find your work online, man? I see you got all those books behind you.
Yeah, so folks can catch me on Instagram under Gaseous 2019. Also, you can catch my books on Amazon, 2 of them, Gaseous and I Am Not Your Chihuahua. Excellent book. And also, let's see, all this one piece is really come together. It's really good. So we'll get the second half of it next time. So it's coming together. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. And I really love that the name Democratos.
Obviously, Kit knows that it's talking about democracy. I'm sure he's figured that out.
What was the misspelling in the beginning? It kind of ended up becoming a
Speculative.
speculative. Yeah, it kind of like became a play on words. Speculative, qualitative, speculative. Anyway, thanks for that stuff, man. Tez,
you.
everyone. And if you got any links, feel free to share that there. We're gonna go ahead and do as we often do, make a call to the bullpen for the right-hander, the closer. He's a wild one. You never know what you're gonna expect. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Dan the Man, Mr. Piropos himself.
What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. Well, I finally found the poetry I've been looking for, and you know, throughout May is, well, what can we say? All in the day. Okay, not the chat. Sorry. Sorry. Yep, mental health awareness. Yep, mental health awareness. And yeah, I did a poetry on this one, and it's called Mental Health. Yep, I don't mean, well, mental health. I don't mean wealth. I mean mental health. Something about condition of a person with regret, with the regard of sorry, with regards of their psychological well-being and their emotional well-being related to the social well-being. Well, with mental health, and it's not stealth nor commonwealth. There's some importance. It is important to aware of those signs like depression, bipolar, anxiety, stress, PTSD, ADHD, COPD, OCD, phobia, shame, mental disorders, schizophrenia, global claustrophobia, kleptomania, addiction, bulimia, among others. Yeah, those are the signs. Hold on. Those are the signs of mental health. We must be aware of this majority. We must share this awareness. These are rare. It can't be forever in a chair. Among other hundreds of signs of mental health, this is the majority we can help that change that, to help to deal to those signs, those issues, those problems. Those things could be a hazard. This could be a life on the line. We gotta be aware of the mental health because we want to help to deal with it, deal with these results, and to help to bear with them, to deal with this outcome, to live and out to strive and make a happy life. This is mental health. I don't mean wealth. I mean mental health, something about a condition of a person with regards of psychological well-being and emotional well-being. Mental is not stealth nor commonwealth. That's right. Yeah. So Yeah, throughout May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah. I wish Liz Liana was here to see this, because I guess I guess even if she was here, she would have listened to this. But yeah, I know she's always an advocate for mental health, and yeah, that's true. That's very nice for her. So kudos to hats off to hats off to the Lizard King. All right. So, but anyway, well, like I said, gotta be throughout May is Mental Health Awareness. Okay. All right, here it is. Read it and weep it. Yeah, I'm behind posts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm kind of catching up on Instagram. But most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Or don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, you know what to do. And don't forget the hashtag. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Thanks a lot. And let's see what we have in store for next Monday, for Red Nose Day. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Getting a little bit of trouble with your mic there.
Pete's sake.
It's all right, man. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. That is all of our lists tonight. A lot of people, a lot of triumphant returns, a lot of regulars as always. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Again, we're here every single Monday. So if you want to join us online, you're more than welcome to join from the comfort of your own home, your home office, your living room, wherever. We can be back. Also, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know you're here. Leave a comment if you really enjoyed, a performer. Let us know. And of course, if you're in El Paso, in the El Paso area, we'd have a bunch of events this week that you can come and perform in. We have a stage for you, including some that are just exclusive poetry nights. It's really nice to be able to do that. So we want to thank you guys, and we'll see you